To discuss the U.S. strategy for Iran, we're bringing in foreign policy analyst Bart Marcois. He's a former career diplomat and Energy Department official, also a news commentator creating daily bite-sized news analysis called A Minute with Bart. So Bart, good afternoon to you. Now, the Iranian media said the summit ended with a willingness to continue, and we know the U.S. is demanding, no nuclear for Iran and also limits on its ballistic missile program. While Iran, on the other hand, wants to continue enriching uranium. Do you see any compromise here being made over these issues?
No, not at all, because the Iranians are playing a false game. The fact that they won't even engage on the issues that matter to the United States in addition to the nuclear issue tells you that they're negotiating in bad faith. They're not negotiating, they're just stalling. The U.S. insisted on discussing proxies, the Houthis, the Hezbollah, Hamas, the proxies that Iranians use around the world to carry out their terrorist activities. They wanted to talk about, as you mentioned, ballistic missiles. They wanted to talk about the treatment of the Iranian people. The Iranians said, no, just nuclear things. So they haven't even agreed to the scope yet. And Iranian Foreign Minister Araghchi left and said, yeah, it went great. Everything is fine. And he knows very well it didn't go well. He's just trying to set up an international narrative that says, hey, we were negotiating, the U.S. attacked us.
Okay, so you're saying Iran is not going to compromise, but is it true or is it not true that Iran is going into these talks from a weaker position than normal? Because, given the state of its economy and internal issues like the protests.
Yes, they're weaker than they've ever been. It's their currency is running at 1.5 million, I think it's reals to the dollar. You cannot sustain an economy like that. The reason people are demonstrating in the streets, or were until they were murdered, they figured we're going to die quickly or slowly. We may as well die quickly as we try to fight for our freedom. They have no air defense. Israel destroyed their air defense systematically last year. They don't have nuclear weapons anymore. They know that their hardened bunkers are not doing them any good anymore. And they know that between Israel and the United States, we know where each one of them is. We know where they're living. We know where their families live. We know where everything they care about is. And they are negotiating from a position of complete weakness.
Okay, can you talk to us about the stakes here? President Trump has said if a deal is not reached, the next attack will be far worse. And the Iranian leader said that a U.S. attack on Iran will stoke a regional war. So what are the stakes here? Is Iran bluffing?
I don't think Iran is bluffing. I think that they have a lot of aces up their sleeve. Most of them involve terrorist activities, terrorist sleeper cells. They have people embedded in countries all over the world. They have people embedded right here in the United States that they expect to activate. But what they're forgetting, and those things are very serious. Please don't think I'm underplaying their capabilities. But what they're forgetting is that those sleeper cells, if the sleeper cells see the head of the snake cut off and they see that the regime has been destroyed, their own fanaticism may wane a little bit, and their dedication to their cause may slacken a little bit, and they may be less willing to carry out their assignments that they may have received 3 years ago, or 18 months or 10 years ago. Russia had the same problem with their sleeper agents. Many of their sleeper agents came here and decided that they liked the United States better. They liked life here better. And when Mother Russia called on them to carry out some act of sabotage or espionage, they quietly just disappeared.
Okay, but the Trump administration has already bombed 3 major Iranian nuclear sites, setting back Iran's nuclear program by up to 2 years, according to the Pentagon. What are the actual risks of Iran having a nuclear weapon?
Oh, they're immense because these are people who believe that only a complete destruction of Israel and of all of Israel's allies and of Western civilization will bring about the glorious end of the world and the return of the hidden imam. It's a messianic kind of figure, and so if they destroy everything, they don't fear being destroyed in the process or reciprocally, because this is part of a messianic imperative that they have to fulfill. So they, uniquely almost among all the people of the world, they are the most dangerous regime to have a nuclear weapon. Even the North Koreans have some rational fear of reciprocity.
Okay, so let me ask you this. You said earlier that Iran will not compromise. So, I mean, that leads me to think potentially a deal may not happen. And President Trump says if there is no deal, then he's going to attack, and the attack will be far worse. And you're saying that Iran is not bluffing. So if we put this together, where are we headed, Bart?
It certainly looks like we're headed toward war. As a diplomat, I have to say that sometimes when you're negotiating with a particularly recalcitrant opponent, they have to look into the brink. They have to look over the brink of and into the abyss to decide. It's a gut check. Are you really willing to die? Are you really willing to see all your power evaporate, all your wealth, all your control, everything you've built up over the last 40 years, 45 years? Are you willing to see that just evaporate in a flash? Or will you be reasonable and finally give up your terrorist way of life? I don't know. I think that President Trump will keep his word. I think that he will exercise extreme patience, as he has already. Many people are very frustrated with him for having waited this long, but he is making it clear that what he really wants is peace. But a lasting peace cannot be achieved when you have an opponent, an enemy that is sworn to your destruction. And if he will not back down, that enemy will not back down from destroying you, then you have to destroy that enemy if you want peace. It's as ancient as human life on the earth.
Okay, just finally, can you reiterate that point of what the U.S. wants for Iran? What is the end game for Iran? You said peace. Can you elaborate a bit more? Does Trump want
Sure.
new leadership as well? He has said it. It needs new leadership.
Yeah, I think it does need new leadership, but he would do with Iran as he's doing with Venezuela. All the bad guys in Venezuela are still there, except for Maduro and his wife. The people in charge are as bad as Maduro, but as long as they do what the United States wants them to do, Trump will allow them to stay. It's a new, what he wants is a new pattern of behavior. He wants them to stop supporting terrorism all around the world, stop funding every bad program in the United States and in Western Europe, stop supporting their terrorist proxies, give up once and for all their nuclear program, their nuclear project, and their ballistic missiles, and stop murdering their own citizens. I don't see this current leadership ever acceding to those demands. And if I may say, you didn't ask, but if I may say, there's a serious implication for China in all of this. If you have a minute, I'll go into that.
Please, let's hear what you have to say on China.
So one of the things that Iran always threatens is that they will shut down the Strait of Hormuz, that they will, you know, uh, block it, that they'll keep all shipping out of it. Well, China gets nearly 80% of its oil. It comes through the Strait of Hormuz. It gets 20% from Iran and another probably 30 or 40% from Iraq and Saudi Arabia and the UAE and Oman. It's if Iran gets into a war and they shut down the Strait of Hormuz, it's China that will suffer more than anybody else in the world. They will have their oil supply from everywhere except Russia and Malaysia and Brazil cut off. So that's going to make the Iranians very hesitant to carry out some of their more extreme threats. And China has been a big backer of Iran. And of course, if the Iranian regime changes, that's going to make the Chinese have to pay market price for their oil from Iran instead of buying smuggled oil at a discount. So there's some serious calculation going on there with China. And I suspect somebody in the Trump administration has a back channel to China and is discussing this with them as well.
Right. That is a great point you made there about China. Bart, well, thank you for speaking with us today.
Thank you, Don. I hope you have a great afternoon and evening.
You as well.